I main Destiny and feel like the Destiny community is very on the fence on it. I personally liked what I saw and enjoyed it and am excited.
Yeah, that's also one thing I'm very curious about, because Destiny is a very different type of game than this. And I think they're hoping that some Destiny players, of course, come over, but this is kind of a game that is going to have to try to come up with its audience sort of out of thin air. And that's going to be really tough because, Tarkov players are in deep. Some of them might come over to try this. A lot of Tarkov streamers were there. And it seems like a lot of Tarkov players, at least the streamers that I was talking to who stream just Tarkov, they are looking for something else. They do not like supporting that studio. They do not like supporting the monetization practices that they have. They want an alternative. There just isn't really that alternative in the extraction space. We'll see. Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see who this connects with, because I don't think they even are sure exactly who this will click with, but I think that's part of the idea, is that they are hoping that it's just kind of unique and players hop over, try it and fall in love with it, and this becomes their new main game. It's why Joe Ziegler, the game director, he said, I'm not trying to build a game competing directly with other games. I'm not trying to take players from Tarkov or take players from Apex or take players from Valorant. I'm just trying to make a good game that I have fun playing, that I want to play. And if I do that, I feel like other people will come, which, honestly is kind of a refreshing philosophy, instead of just trying to splice together 15 different mini versions of different games, but we'll see.
I'm not interested in hating on games, but I would love for this or Arc Raiders to get me into extraction M shooters.
Yeah, they can be very fun. They can also be infuriating, which is something I learned hard. It was, again, I won't say specifically who it was, but there was a team behind us. There were people in that team you would know. And they, on the first day, had a hell of a time. They said they had lost, I think they said 8 matches in a row. So literally all the loot they had gathered for hours, all of it was gone. They had nothing. It was like they were starting the game over from scratch after losing 8 times in a row. And they told me at dinner, they're like, yeah, we were not having fun. They're like, we were not having fun. And, they eventually made a comeback and they started to have a really good time and they felt really good about that. But
is something wrong with developers nowadays? How can you have a game in development in one form or another for 6 years and still not be ready? We need a conversation about where time and resources are spent at these studios.
Yeah, well, the thing is, I think it's different for different studio philosophies. A lot of games are very iterative. So they build one version of the game and then they strip stuff out. They put something in, then they strip that out. They put something new in. So the game it's not big, but hopefully it's polished. That's the idea, is that you're not going broad, just making a ton of stuff, attaching it. You're focusing on the little bitty thing and you're just taking out the little bits that don't work and polishing the little bits that do. That's the idea, at least. But also with Marathon, we know it looks like it was restarted at least once. Joe Ziegler, the game director, I don't believe was working on this from the outset. He came in, you remember we reported on it. He came in a few years into development, and he was the one that transitioned it into a hero-based game. Prior to that, Marathon was set up similar to Tarkov, where it was just everybody has the same exact player skeleton, basically, and it's the gear exclusively that makes them unique. Yeah, because he's from Valorant. Exactly, that's his background. So, yeah, it was Christopher Daniels. So there was a version of this that was just much more flatly Tarkov, it seems. And Joe came in later and then rebooted it into this, which is, I think, where most of that time went. Because whatever it was, they didn't think it was working,
I think launching this game on the same day as Borderlands 4 was a strange move, but I'm curious to see how it will play out. I think I'm going to choose Borderlands based on what's been shown so far.
Yeah, I'll be real. That is shocking to me. When they mentioned the date, I didn't put 2 and 2 together. That's when Borderlands was launching. But that is a bold move. That is a bold move for sure. Bold move, Cotton. We'll see how it works out for them. But I agree. I also am really? But I think it's because they're running out of time. I think it's pretty clear. Sony is get this out before GTA. Figure it out. Because I think early next year, they have to get Horizon out the door. And then late next year, they have to get Fair Game $sign out the door. So they just don't have enough time. I think they're just figure it out. So I think that really is what it is.